Have you ever looked into the eyes of someone you trusted? Someone you laughed with, cried with, built moments with, and suddenly felt a slow, unsettling shift in your chest, like the foundation beneath your soul was breaking in silence. That moment isn't loud like thunder. It's quiet, paralyzing. It's the second you realize that behind the smile, behind the affection, behind the warm touch of their words, lives something you missed entirely. A hollowness, a hunger, a darkness masked as charm. What you've stumbled into isn't just manipulation. It's deeper, more dangerous. You may have just met a narcissist, and not the #narcissist ex-boyfriend kind. No, the real kind. The psychologically accurate, soul-draining, identity-fracturing kind. The kind Carl Jung studied in silence. The kind that doesn't just wound you, they unmake you. Peel you down layer by layer until you forget who you were before they rewrote your narrative and wore your self-worth like a trophy dangling on their keychain. In this video, we're not just skimming psychology textbooks or throwing around empty labels. We are diving into the abyss, into the unconscious ego-driven behaviors Carl Jung tried to illuminate, those terrains where the narcissist thrives. We're unveiling the 5 core types of narcissistic personality structures, not just to name them, but to give you back your clarity and your breath. Because once you name darkness, it starts to lose power. But until then, it survives in confusion. And confusion is how narcissists win. They distort reality until you're no longer sure who the villain is and you begin questioning your heartbeat, your sanity, your memory. Let me ask you a painful question. Have you ever apologized for expressing your pain, for asking for love, for needing basic dignity? If you have, you might not even know how deeply you've been infected by a narcissist's subtle poison. They say narcissists are all the same, but they're not. Some worship attention. Others pretend they don't need it. Some dress their egos in Armani suits. Others conceal it in spiritual robes or broken-winged victimhood. But in every one of them, behind every carefully constructed persona, is a psyche terrified of exposure, terrified of nothingness. Carl Jung once said, "The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely." And that's the tragedy of the narcissist. They've exiled their true self, buried it in shame, and what's left? A hollow echo pretending to be human. You must understand, narcissism isn't confidence. It's camouflage. A desperate performance built to protect a fractured ego that never developed the capacity to truly love. And yet somehow, they find us. Empaths, givers, healers, listeners. They find our light and cast their shadow on it until it dims, until it flickers, until it dies, not with drama but with indifference. And the scariest part, they don't always shout. The ones who broke you may have whispered while doing it. Because not all narcissists are grandiose. Not all need applause. Some crave pity instead. Some lure you in with stories of their pain, their trauma, their mother who never hugged them, or the partner who destroyed their heart. At first you feel honored to be trusted. Then slowly, glacially, they become the center of your universe. Suddenly your problems don't matter. Your voice is too loud. Your needs are a burden. And because they never scream at you, you convince yourself they can't be hurting you. But damage can be inflicted with silence too. In fact, the most dangerous narcissist isn't the one who humiliates you. It's the one who makes you do it to yourself. You begin editing your emotions, doubting your instincts, betraying your intuition just to be loved by someone incapable of loving anyone, not even themselves. Carl Jung warned us that any part of the psyche left in shadow will rule us from the dark. And that's what narcissists do. They split off shame, vulnerability, empathy, and then spend a lifetime projecting it onto everyone else. If they feel worthless, they'll make you feel lesser. If they harbor rage, they'll provoke yours just so they can say, "See how crazy you are." It's not madness, it's method. It's a labyrinth built from half-truths and blame, one where the farther you walk, the more lost you become. They will remember every mistake you've made, but forget every sacrifice you gave. They'll weaponize your past, mock your healing journey, and then say you're too sensitive when you ask for the bare minimum. And when you finally reach a breaking point, when you escape their orbit of chaos, they'll reinvent the story to make sure they're still the protagonist. Because a narcissist would rather burn down the truth than let it threaten their fantasy. But here's what they never tell you. Underneath that persona, underneath the false self, there is a gaping emotional void. And if you listen closely, you'll hear how loudly they're screaming behind the mask. Every accusation is a confession. Every insult is a projection. Every manipulation is a cry for control in a world they can't face. But none of that makes their abuse your responsibility. Empathizing with a narcissist doesn't heal them, it just drains you. You cannot bleed yourself dry to fill their void. Until they are willing to face their unbearable truth, they will dehumanize you to avoid themselves. And so you must stop hoping they'll change. Stop begging for closure. Stop needing justice in a heart built for war, and instead, choose peace. Choose sanity. Choose to return to yourself. Because narcissists aim for the soul, they don't just hurt your feelings. They sever your identity from its foundation. They make you unrecognizable to yourself. But the truth is, your healing is remembering who you were before their voice got louder than your own. So how do you deal with them? You draw the line, and then you guard it like it's sacred. Because it is. You walk away, not because you hate them, but because you finally love yourself. You stop explaining, stop justifying, stop giving them the benefit of the doubt. They will never understand your empathy, and it is not your job to teach it to them. Reclaim your silence, your energy, your authenticity. You're not dramatic. You're not unstable. You're not broken. You are being spiritually eroded by someone who called it love but used love as leverage. Letting go isn't betrayal, it's reclamation. And if they say you're too much, know they're only saying that because compared to their emptiness, your fullness is unbearable. You don't rise by fixing what's broken in them. You rise by resurrecting what's divine in you. Carl Jung understood that the shadow isn't meant to be destroyed. It's meant to be integrated. But a narcissist won't do that. Their entire existence is a performance designed to avoid the shadow. So you must stop standing in the audience wishing the act would end. Leave the theater. Rewrite the script. Because behind their voice there is only an echo chamber. But behind yours is truth, fire, clarity. And once you reclaim it, once you truly grasp the psychological web for what it is, you stop becoming prey. You start becoming sovereign. Narcissism loses power when you stop needing it to validate your worth. It dissolves when you stop seeking love from a place where love has never existed. This isn't your fault, but your recovery is your responsibility. And I'm telling you right now, you're allowed to make it out. You don't need a villain to play the role of victim. You can just walk away. You can snap the cycle. You can rebuild your nervous system, learn to trust your intuition again, and fall in love with the quiet of a life without emotional warfare. Betrayal was never love. Dehumanization was never intimacy, and their silence was never peace. But now, you know better. You see the mask. You hear the patterns. You feel the hollowness behind the charm, and that awareness, that brutal clarity, is your superpower. If you've made it this far, I want to know who truly understood the message. Leave the phrase, "I see through the mask now," in the comments, and let's see how many of you really grasp what it means to take your power back, to separate illusion from truth, and to heal beyond betrayal. If this video made you question something, if it made you see things from a different angle, like and subscribe because this is just the beginning. I'll see you in the next video. And remember, when the mask falls, the truth rises.